designed to increase pressure on the Islamic Republic.
These measures represent a strong and proportionate response to Iran's increasingly provocative actions. We will continue to increase pressure on Tehran until the regime abandons its dangerous activities and its aspirations, including the pursuit of nuclear weapons, increased enrichment of uranium, development of ballistic missiles, engagement in and support for terrorism.
Speaking to reporters at the White House on Monday, the anti-media reports that Trump said the sanctions would deny Khamenei access to financial resources, although it wasn't immediately clear why anyone believes the 80-year-old Iranian supreme leader was stupid enough to have any exposure to the Western financial system. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. U.S. Border Patrol agents found 4 bodies Sunday near the Rio Grande in South Texas, including 3 children and a young woman. Hidalgo County Sheriff Eddie Guerrera posted in a tweet Sunday night. The Mind Unleashed reports the 4 bodies were found in the Las Palomas Wildlife Management Area of Mission, Texas. U.S. Customs and Border Protection say the Rio Grande Valley area accounts for more than 40% of undocumented immigrant apprehensions and is the busiest sector in the nation. The deaths follow a surge of unauthorized migration to the U.S. last month, when more than 144,000 people were apprehended or deemed inadmissible to the country, the largest number in 13 years. The reported deaths follow several days of news reports about troubling conditions inside border area detention centers. Last week, 4 toddlers were hospitalized after lawyers visited a U.S. Border Patrol facility in McAllen and found them severely ill and not receiving medical attention. The British government last year licensed arms deals worth over $17.8 million to Israel, even as Israeli soldiers were accused of intentionally firing on Palestinian protesters at the Gaza border, in what the UN says may be potential war crimes. The anti-media reports that the weapons approved for sale include ammunition, components for assault rifles, and other types of arms which could be used for repression. That's according to newly released details from the Department of International Trade, compiled by the Campaign Against the Arms Trade. Revelations of the sales to Israel come after a UK court ordered the British government last week to stop approving arms sales to Saudi Arabia because it failed to fully assess whether the equipment might be used to breach an international humanitarian law in the war in Yemen. One sale for more than $125,000 worth of military training equipment was approved on May 18th last year, 4 days after 68 Palestinians were killed by Israeli troops on the most deadly day in Gaza since the 2014 Israeli offensive. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A dead iPod is remembered as expensive. It's the Onion Radio News. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Despite heroic efforts at resuscitation, a third-generation 30-gigabyte iPod, serial number AP356372, was pronounced dead early this morning at the age of 2. The iPod's closest companion, Sarah Zartman, says she'll never forget the great music it used to play, nor will she forget the nearly $500 price tag.
I'll remember those 3,500 songs as long as I live. That iPod was convenient, portable, and really pricey.
Zartman added that had she known the iPod's lithium-ion battery would have such a short lifespan, she might have spent more time listening to it. AP356372 is survived by a BlackBerry. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Take control of the airways with 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
Melanie.
And Mark.
And how are you both doing? I'm still reeling from the awesome Fork Fest that we had.
It was a lot of fun.
I'm good. I didn't go to Fork Fest, any
That's
of the
right.
fests.
But I mean, you're pregnant, so that's sort of
Probably shouldn't go
understandable.
to festivals if you're pregnant.
Well, I mean, you're always welcome, pregnant or not. It's just probably unlikely to be comfortable, right?
Well, there's the camping, which is basically just poverty as a hobby. And then there's all the drugs, which are not good for tiny babies, so...
No, but speaking of drugs, you know, police like arresting people for drugs because they don't have anything better to do with their time. You know, like testing any of the 20,000 untested rape kits or anything, you know, positive or helpful like that.
Well, police don't do rape kits.
Yeah, to be fair, that's more of a crime lab thing, which I do love that they call it a crime lab and not a science lab. It's like, here's the lab where we commit crimes.
Well, that is accurate, at least. But coming to us from Fox News, you have a story about police suicides, which is not exactly something that I'm happy about because I generally don't want people to be so depressed or so anxious that they kill themselves.
I want there to be less cops, and the method of which that happens, I don't feel morally able to have a preference as to how that comes about. Because
so to you, them
they
quitting,
still have victims.
To you, them quitting is functionally equivalent to killing themselves? I would rather they just stop being cops.
I mean, like, okay, maybe preference was not the right word to use there. So yes, I would rather them stop being cops and stop supporting the system. But as long as they still have victims, I don't feel morally able to be picky about the method of which they quit having victims.
So it sounds like you're one of these people that makes them want to kill themselves.
I mean, people always tell me I'm not accomplishing anything by talking S on the internet or to people or in front of people.
Just read the article.
According to Fox News, they're wrong.
So the article essentially is saying that people who say mean things about cops online.
Right. Fox News is saying that mean words directly cause suicides.
Well, it's social pressure. Yep.
Well, I mean, they're not wrong. I mean, that...
But it's an odd position for Fox to be taking, given their other stances.
True. But cyberbullying, it certainly does cause people to kill themselves. I would expect that the kind of person who becomes a cop, however, being used to being a bully, is unlikely to be impacted to that degree by being the recipient of bullying. But let's go to the article and see what they actually have to say about it. Because it sounds to me like nonsense.
Yeah, so for the third year in a row, that being 2019, the number of police officers who committed suicide outnumbered those killed in the line of duty, according to Blue Help, a nonprofit organization that tracks law enforcement suicides. Now, that sounds a lot worse than it is right off the bat, because there aren't a whole lot of cops who die in the line of duty. I had looked this up the end of last year, early this year, and they tried to put out a number that was like 21 for the whole year, but you only got there if you counted a guy who had a heart attack and some dogs. So it was actually more like 19 or 16 or something like that.
There's a lot of people that have heart attacks on duty. I mean, firemen, this is like one of the number one killers. So, I don't know.
I imagine that these sorts of events are pretty stressful. So if you're fat and overweight and have eaten too many donuts, it's a heart attack.
So even if you want to count the heart attack, if you only counted humans, it was like 19.
I'm okay with counting the dogs. As long as, they count the dogs that they shoot as human beings and then end up, charged with homicide.
If they did that, I would at least say they're consistent.
Yeah, but I mean, they obviously
But
they
still padded the number, and it still only got to like 21 or 22 or something like that. Like,
Which
it's
is
not
like what?
There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cops that just die in the line of duty every day.
I think it was like, I think it's the numbers here is 52 for last year.
So roughly 5% of the number of people who were killed by cops last year. Wasn't it about 1,600 who were killed by police last year?
I don't know the numbers on that. I'm not looking that up.
Something like that.
Yeah, so...
vaguely.
At any rate, 21 is significantly lower than the number of people killed by police last year.
Let's go with the 144 federal, state, and local officers have died so far in 2018, and that's the 1st of October, about the 8th of October.
Okay. So
But
it might
it's
have gotten up to
still-
like
yeah,
160, 170.
So even if it's 200, that's still not this outrageous amount of people that they're trying to make it look like this just... That's not even one a day, right?
Right. Yeah.
Well,
There are lots of other jobs that are way more dangerous than that.
that much is true. There are more dangerous jobs, but as I understand it, there's mental health issues that tend to go along with being a police officer.
Sure. I mean, bullying somebody as a career is likely to cause PTSD in the same way that being a soldier is likely to cause PTSD.
Can do that.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, how immoral can you be on a regular basis before it begins to affect you and tear you apart?
Depends on the person, probably.
I'm sure it does. I mean, that's why they're not all killing themselves at, 2 years into service or 5 years into service or whatever. Some people, they're more psychopathic than others, so they're able to handle being aggressive bullies.
Well, let's hope that some of these guys are frustrated that they can't fix the system, and that's the solution they're coming up with. I think that there's lots of reasons that people might choose to end their own life. None of them good, and I'm kind of curious what the article says rather than the glad-handed ramblings of three libertarians.
Okay, so at least 160 police officers nationwide took their own lives in 2018. One more than 2017, and a spike in 19 suicides compared to 2016. I don't know if that sentence is supposed to mean 19 more than 2016. I think that's what they mean.
Okay, and what was the total number there? I missed it. It said it right?
160.
Okay, 160. Gotcha.
The large majority of suicides are men who kill themselves with a gun.
Well,
Well,
hold on.
Which
That's such a loaded concept in and of itself. Like, if a man is going to commit suicide, he's more than likely going to use a gun. While a woman is more likely to choose something like suffocation or something that is significantly less successful.
I think a man is just more likely to have a gun as a population. I've never looked into that, but it seems like the case.
That could be the case as well, but a woman who wants to kill herself could certainly acquire a gun in order
Well, yeah,
in order
that's
to do
also
so.
true. Well, depending on, if you're in California, maybe not so much. If you're in the Northeast.
But having done a more research into suicide than I care to admit, women don't tend to go to the gun as a mechanism for killing themselves. It's usually going to be like aspirin overdose or something that's not likely to actually kill them.
Seems bad.
Even if they do genuinely want to kill themselves, they just don't go to the gun.
Well, and men are just tend to be better at killing things, which is why they were conscripted as soldiers historically. So, yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
I'm going to let you own that statement.
I've said it, so...
So most of the people who killed themselves who were cops were men who used a gun. Maybe we should ban police from having guns then.
I wonder how that worked in Great Britain.
Well, I don't want to ban everyone, just the police.
That sounds real good, but I don't know how that actually plays out.
Why?
Because then they're going to take them away from everybody else, too.
But they don't have the guns that they would use to take away guns from people who weren't cops.
They'll have some higher up level that has guns.
Well, we need to take the guns away from them, too.
Okay.
Don't they commit suicide?
Who's this we?
We, the people who don't want them to have guns.
Yes, well...
Whoever is encompassed in my statement.
This much I'll say is the organization that gives the power to the police that they claim for themselves isn't going to entirely disarm the police. If they disarm them at all.
Yeah, and that's the problem, I would say.
I am curious about this news article here. Let's go on.
Yeah, we're going to get back into it, or give us a call. Tell us what are your thoughts on suicide and cop suicides in particular, because apparently more cops are killing themselves now than ever before. The number is 855-450-FREE, as in freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Or you can use the Discord call-in lines, which you can find at discord.freetalklive.com.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is a 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids,
flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa,
the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, Mark at
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Call in and talk about whatever you'd like. 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Melanie,
and Mark.
And let's finally get into this article coming to us from Fox News about police suicides and what they believe to be responsible for the evident increase.
Okay, so they continue. New York and Chicago lead the country with at least 5 police suicides, but Chicago's force is notably smaller. So by the numbers, it is considered the worst among police suicides, according to Blue Help. Chicago has fewer police than New York. Yeah, okay.
It's a
That's what it says.
Really a smaller place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I realized that as soon as I said it.
Okay.
Chicago's Fraternal Order of Police published a statement after the death of Officer Dane Smith that blamed increasing police despair on the negative news coverage of police officers. Smith, 36, killed himself on New Year's Day. The fact that police are
New Year's Eve would have been more appropriate. I mean,
they count
just
things
saying.
as the next day if it's after midnight.
What?
So you'll read like silly stories and say like, "Oh, this happened on Tuesday morning, but it was like 2 a.m." It's like, okay, that's called Monday night, but okay. So like,
Oh,
if
no,
it was
that's
after
Tuesday
midnight.
morning. I mean, for us people who like stay up until 7 a.m., that's Tuesday morning.
So if it happened after midnight, they're going to count it as New Year's Day.
Right.
So it probably
I'm saying
really
he should have
was
killed
New Year's
himself
Eve.
an hour earlier.
Well, so
sorry, Mark.
Here's what I would say is that first off, when people drink, and New Year's Eve is definitely known as amateur night, they're much more likely to commit suicide, right? You drink too much, and for whatever reason, it's time to do it. I don't know why that is, but it happens to people, and I think that probably that's the reason here for Officer Dane, and I'm sorry about what happened to him. But, I mean, ultimately, this is something that needs to be addressed by police departments and police unions. Not putting out articles saying, stop saying mean things to our officers. I mean, if you think that the reasons are that police are killing themselves because of the things that are being told to them on the internet, then let's start programs to address the things that people are talking about on the internet so that police officers are getting taught. I mean, because police are mostly following orders from the brass. So if the complaint is what the police are doing, then in a lot of cases, it's because the brass either condone it or have directly told them to do it. So let's talk to the brass about how we can, hey, let's just make a better work environment for police generally. And let's address the fact that, well, I don't know, police in the United States shoot a heck of a lot more people than they do even in Canada, which is, very close and has very similar demographics.
Sure.
And all the excuses that people come up with regarding police in foreign country, the police in the United States versus police in foreign countries, seems like they go out the window once you start really looking at them. I don't know why police in the United States shoot more people, and I don't know why police are having trouble with suicide here. But if the claim is that they're somehow related, then fine. That's something for cities, police unions, and policing organizations themselves to deal with. Why
does
public.
everybody hate you to the point where you want to kill yourself?
Well, it's
I
sort
don't
of
even know
similar.
that this is an actual causation.
No, it's just a claim from police department.
Yeah, I mean, it's like nobody ever wrote a song called F the Fire Department, and there's a reason for that. The fire department doesn't behave that way.
Yeah, it's very similar to the whole blowback and terrorism idea, which is that, the powers that be, the institutional system, doesn't want to accept responsibility for the fact that all of these negative things are outcomes of its own actions. So they're blaming social media and all of that because the social media blowback to what the cops are doing out in the streets. And no, we need the blowback to stop, but we don't actually want to address what the police are doing out in the streets. That's not the problem here, according to them, when in fact that is the source of the problem here. As you were alluding to, Melanie, there's no F the fire department song because the fire department isn't out shooting people's dogs. In fact, they're rescuing people's dogs more often than not. They're not out looking for fires and creating fires so that they have something to do while police are out there.
Probably not going to get attacked by a firefighter. It's just
and if you
highly
are,
unlikely.
he is literally trying to save you from a fire-ridden building, and you're panicked.
In a lot of cases, firefighters work very closely with police and are fond of them, just to be clear.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and so he says the fact that police are so vilified in the media and the political system, no, they're not, but okay, constantly subject to false allegations that lead to discipline and other forms of harassment. Discipline is a form of harassment now. Certainly takes its toll on officers, the union said in a statement last week, and is a leading cause of despair and low morale throughout the department.
I mean, don't they have some sort of mechanism in place to determine whether or not allegations against police officers are actually true? And don't we have an entire justice system that sort of assumes that the allegations are false until they're proven 100% especially in the case of cops, to be true? And even if they are true, there's actually no discipline that results from them?
Well, yeah. So it's hard in many departments to even make a complaint. So there's that.
Yeah, you're unlikely to. There could be video of you shooting someone unprovoked, and you're likely to walk as a cop because that's happens several times.
It's happening less, though. I mean, admittedly, Americans are putting up with this less and less, and they're, holding police accountable in some cases. And at some point, you're going to find a situation where a police officer shouldn't have been held accountable and will, but I don't know if that's down the road or happened yet.
When we get to that point, then it's going to be an entirely different assessment, because if a firefighter just walks up to someone and shoots them for no reason, he's going to jail. And so people aren't going to blame the fire department for protecting him, because that's not what the fire department is going to do. That's not the case with cops. So, yeah, then then we say mean words on the internet at them.
Yeah, because that's all we can do. I mean, we can't realistically shoot back, right?
No.
All we can do is use our words. And a lot of the times they will punish people for doing that. There are police stations that have been caught, finding out who was saying negative things about them and their police officers on social media and pursuing those people for what they have said online.
Yeah.
That's true.
So the whole system.
That's not police work, gentlemen.
No, that's what would you even call that?
If I did that,
Harassment?
it would be stalking.
Vengeance, yeah.
Even if all I did was look these people up, if I did it, it would be stalking. And then if I did something else, it would be kidnapping or theft or whatever.
Good point. Yeah, it's not acceptable for us to seek out people who say mean things about us and, kidnap them and shoot them.
Yeah, that's usually frowned upon in most every society I'm aware of.
But not if you have that special little badge that says you can sort of do anything you want and get away with it.
Yeah, they do have those magic badges.
Well, they have, what's it called? Some kind of immunity, basically, from prosecutions. It's a sovereign immunity, but it's not that. It's something close to sovereign immunity. And essentially, it's very difficult to bring charges.
That would be sovereign immunity.
Well, the state is always going to protect its own, right? And
not
the police
always.
are...
Sometimes. Often.
As long as they can get away with it, yeah.
They, for whatever reason, seem to turn on cops when they do sexual things.
That's true. Well, that's
a pretty low bar.
Yep.
That's true. 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live. 855-450-3733. Call us and tell us what you think.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynavite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale. Totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. Take control of the airways. Tell us whatever is on your mind. That's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria,
Melanie,
and Mark.
And we've been talking about cop suicides and the evident blame for them being placed upon the people who are upset about some of the behavior that police officers have engaged in and said mean things to them on the internet.
It sounds like a real cop-out.
Pun intended?
Oh, that's fine. Is that, look, people are going to complain about you doing your job generally. So complaints are part of a job.
Complaints are part of existing on the internet.
When you do your job look, if police were out there solving the rapes, the murders, the arsons, and all these things of the world, very few people would be saying mean things to them. It's the drug war, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't difficult to figure out. It's the drug war. It's the drug war. It's the drug war. It's the drug war. I mean, if it wasn't for the drug war, then people wouldn't be complaining about the cops. But you've been throwing their kids, their mothers, their brothers, their sisters, their uncles, and their aunts in jail for decades now. And yes, I know you had real control of the media before, but now we've entered Web 2.0 where people get to say things back, and some people are kind of miffed about their relatives being thrown in jail. And it's because police are employed to do the will of politicians, and they say they can't do otherwise. And, this is what happens when you do the will of liars and thieves. Everybody knows that politicians are liars and thieves. Everybody knows what it takes to get to be the top brass at a police department. And, I mean, this isn't hard to figure out. And when you follow the orders of these people, this is what happens.
I would agree entirely.
I mean, I'm sorry.
It's not simply the drug wars. I would also expand it to it's also the war on prostitution and just the war on victimless crimes in general. But the drug war is by far the largest of those incompetently waged wars against people doing things that the state has decided they shouldn't be allowed to do.
Do you think the state could win the drug war if it wanted to?
I think the fact that shrooms just became decriminalized in Denver and cannabis is being legalized across the United States is pretty strong evidence that they could not win the drug war.
I don't know.
They can't keep drugs out of prisons. How are they going to keep them out of the country?
Well, I don't know that we've seen them try.
It's incompetent to attempt it.
It's futile. It's pointless. I mean, there is a point. The point is to grow the roles of police departments and give jobs to people who would not otherwise be police officers. And many times you'll find police officers that say, well, yeah, a portion of our department probably shouldn't be here, but they are. Well, gentlemen, the best way, first what you do is you in any business, you should be cutting your bottom 5, 10, 15% of performers out because they need to go find the jobs that they're good at.
Sure.
But with police unions, that's very difficult to do, to cut out bad performers. Secondly, the brass likes having more cops rather than fewer. The politicians like more cops rather than fewer. So these departments are incentivized to have more people on duty, and the drug war allows them to do that. I mean, those cops aren't being used to to solve all these crimes that Americans really want solved. In fact, in the case of this Baltimore crew that recently been sentenced here, I was hearing about them on NPR, they were out committing crimes. They were robbing the drug dealers. So, I'm sorry. These things are easily solved. What isn't easily solved is, I want to do what I want to do the way I want to do it, and I want everybody to shut up. That doesn't work.
Now, do you think the drug war could have been the first stage of the police-state game, where now we have police departments acquiring Bearcats and, honestly, mine-resistant tanks?
It makes it easier because even if you've never done drugs in your whole life, that does not mean that these kind of things don't affect you, because now it's a whole lot more difficult to harass every third person for committing murder. If there's absolutely no evidence of murder, you can't really throw the same body on 50 different cases, but you can throw the same bag of weed that none of the defendants ever touched on 50 different cases. So even if you've never...
See, I'm thinking about it more in terms of police presence, right? First they got us used to having more police slowly, incrementally, as the drug war increased and they needed more cops in order to wage it.
Well, right, but then when you run out of real crime and you have this increased presence, what do? They harass people who are either committing victimless crimes or not committing crimes at all. So now you're out late. That's suspicious because that's when drug dealers are out. You're standing funny, then that's suspicious because that's how that drug dealer stood one time. You could just be walking to work or doing something completely unrelated.
Right.
But because drugs are legal, now you can be arrested for that.
See, it's prostitutes as well, though. I mean,
yes.
there have been, once you're arrested for prostitution, I mean, you basically cannot stand outside anymore, even outside of your house waiting on an Uber, because a cop will come by and arrest you for soliciting prostitution. And at that point, they don't really have to prove it, evidently.
I know nothing of this.
I've seen cases where women had after being arrested once for prostitution, they were sitting outside waiting on an Uber to show up to give them a ride to work. They got arrested for prostitution and went right back into jail.
People who have been arrested for things like being in a known drug area or...
That's so absurd.
Yeah.
So, I think we've got it nailed down on vice crimes. We also recently read an article here on Free Talk Live where police were complaining that they were given quotas for handing out tickets. They called them contact reports or whatever the terminology.
I thought that was a myth, Mark.
No, it's not a myth. And police tell you it's not a myth if they are answering honestly. I mean, there may not actually be something called a quota,
right? But
there's something functionally called a quota. So now you have police out there looking for people breaking the law on as far as speed limits and stuff like that. And one wonders, if everybody's going 90 in a 55, then why is it 55 there?
Because they put an arbitrary number on it and said you can't drive faster than this.
And I don't know that that's fair, because it could be that everyone is behaving dangerously. But if you have a quota and the safe and legal speed to drive is 55 and everyone is driving 55, what do you, as someone who wants their paycheck next week, do?
You look for the person driving without a seatbelt, not in New Hampshire.
Or you just pull over somebody at random and write them up for doing 65, even though that's not true.
Well, hopefully they would be able to.
I don't think they have to. I think that they can wait around for somebody going 65 and they'll find them. I mean, generally that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And I think
it depends on how high the quota is.
I'm like the only person I know who does not speed.
I rarely speed because I believe it to be a voluntary tax. I try to avoid it as best I can. I'm more likely to do it on an interstate than I will sort of on a local road.
I don't speed on the roads in New Hampshire. They're too...
Yeah, they move
have
around
cliffs on them. No.
See, I find it to be futile. Like if the speed limit is 55 and you're driving 70 and it's a 50-mile trip, it's only going to save you about 3 minutes.
That's right. If it's a 50-mile trip.
Yeah.
If, however, you're driving from New Hampshire to Florida, which I do twice a year, then you're actually talking about some amount of time.
You are talking about hours at that point, most likely.
Oh, and I definitely drive absolutely legally if I am driving with out-of-state plates, which would be the case if I left New Hampshire.
Yeah, because they know you won't be in court to challenge it, right? So they're more likely to pull you over.
Which is weird because nobody else, it's not like the locals do challenge it. Like, they still got jobs.
That's true.
But that's how they do it, so.
Yeah, I think that's the solution for police and police departments around America is, gentlemen, I understand it's frustrating that people won't let you do the things that you've always done before, but we're living in a new world, and people have communication tools, and we're going to have to see some change. Otherwise, people are going to continue to complain.
Absolutely. I would like to see it not stop at simply complaining, though. I'm not outlining any particular action that I would prefer to see, but I don't think complaining online is necessarily having any impact, regardless of what Fox News says.
Yeah, and I don't think Fox News would say this about any other industry. People are mean to cashiers, so they're killing themselves. I don't see Fox News saying that.
Well, nobody is writing a song called F the Cashiers either.
Yeah.
So, by your own analogy, that doesn't quite hold up. But whatever is causing police to kill themselves, I don't think it's a positive thing. I just want them to stop being police officers. Stop being immoral. 855-450-3733.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state, until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm. Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Tell me whatever is on your mind. 855-450-FREE as in Free Talk Live. 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
Melanie.
And Mark.
And we've been getting into this story from Fox News about police suicides. And it's interesting what people are saying about it. Like the quote here from Ron Rufo, who is a retired police officer, evidently, who wrote a book on police suicides. He's not blaming what people say on social media. He's blaming the horrors that police often encounter in the course of their jobs. Like
no doubt.
A little girl, a baby girl who was shot in the eye.
Ugh.
That would certainly be traumatic.
Yeah.
But that's PTSD suicide. That's far more in line with what we expect of veteran suicides, you know? So that, to me, the two things are probably more than likely going to be related.
Yep, police, like firefighters, are going to see some pretty awful stuff.
Ooh, firefighters. Yeah, that's got to be... What are firefighter suicides like? Do either of you know?
I don't know. Usually whenever I hear anything about firefighters and death, it usually has to do with heart attacks. So I know that on my department, if you have a heart attack within 24 hours of a call, it's still considered to be on duty because... sometimes it could be the stress that's related or whatever.
Right.
In 2017, there were 93 of them.
93 firefighter suicides?
Yes.
That's still pretty high.
It is. Rufo told Fox News that police are often afraid to get help for fear of being labeled soft, or worse, being committed and having their license to carry revoked.
Yeah, so...
That's that whole red flag nonsense.
Yeah, so self-reporting laws, self-reporting procedures should be confidential. Your coworker shouldn't know that you went to see the psych department.
Well,
that would solve that.
Shouldn't be, but I mean, if you've ever worked anywhere, you know that's not how it actually plays out. Somebody's going to see you going into that office or into that building or driving there or whatever. They're going to tell their coworkers and they're going to tell everyone else. And the next thing you know, everyone will know that you went to go talk to the shrink.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are ways to mitigate that. And then, yeah, so that's the consequence of taking people's rights away when they seek mental health treatment. They're not going to give up their rights. They're just going to not seek mental health treatment. So the choices aren't, well, people who need mental health care don't have guns, or people who
having their rights taken away was only part of it. The rest of it was social stigma. You know, the fear of being labeled soft.
Yeah, so I mean,
he
but
also
both
referenced
those things. One of those things is entirely solvable by the state, and the other one is largely solvable by the department. Now, can they guarantee that no one will ever find out that you went to see a psychologist? No, but there's things they can do to make that a lot less likely.
So I think that what we do need to see change in America. What that basically addresses the idea that you're soft if you see something terrible. So I've had bad dreams and all kinds of stuff surrounding my work as a firefighter. It's gross, and I mean it's yucky stuff to look at sometimes. But I think it's people who are broken on the inside who don't need therapy after seeing stuff like that, rather than people who do. And
I think I would agree.
Yeah, so I agree we need a cultural change for that. That's more difficult to accomplish. That's not to say we shouldn't do it, but there are less difficult things we can do to kind of work around that in the meantime.
Yeah, and I agree completely with your statement that if they make it likely that you will lose your license to carry a firearm if you go seek mental health treatment, then just fewer people will seek mental health treatment.
Yes, I mean, I have advised people, okay, don't go to this kind of therapist because they can, if you go to this one, it's a diagnosis. I think you need to go, but maybe you need a gun more. That's up to you. Like, I know people who have done this. Like, people aren't just going to that's not what people are going to do. The real options are you can have treated people with mental illness have guns, or you can have untreated people with mental illness have guns. Those are the real options.
Yep. Sure. Well, I mean, in their worldview, their mentality is that if they can't legally have a gun, then they just magically won't have one, right?
Well, it's still...
So they don't see that conflict in the first place.
Even though I could very easily get a gun illegally, I would still neglect to seek mental health treatment if I thought that it would take away my legal ability to have a gun.
I would tend to agree.
Yep. Well, I mean, and with a police officer, it's a much bigger deal because it's their livelihood. It's like pulling a CDL from a truck driver as opposed to anybody else, and a driver's license from your average driver. So I think that cops have every reason to not want to seek mental health treatment if they're going to lose their license to be a police officer.
Yeah, that's true too. If it's like, well, you're going to lose your gun, you're going to get fired, and you can't ever get this job back. Yeah, you'd be in. That's almost like a sanity test in itself. You'd be insane to seek help at that point if that's what's going to happen.
I would agree. Rufo goes on to say that they're keeping a lot inside of what they see on a daily basis. Tragedy, critical accidents, it builds up. And they don't really speak to their significant other about it, so it just keeps going. But he also adds that the backlash on police officers is taking a toll. So he addresses the real issue, which is going to be the trauma of what they do. And right, there is some trauma out there. If you have a child who gets shot in the face, you're going to need someone to go and deal with that.
Emergency services are going to be called, and those emergency services are going to, there'll be some police, some firefighters, some EMS, some things like that. Yeah.
There's no solution for that, though. It's always going to be a traumatic experience to happen across something like that and be the one who has to clean up the mess.
Well, the solution is to offer mental health services without putting the price tag on it and by the way, you lose all your civil rights if you get these mental health services.
I'm not sure that any mental health services will help anyone actually recover from, like, seeing a 3-year-old shot in the head and burned or whatever. To me, that's something that's probably going to permanently damage you with no way to undo it.
I think it would be a lot... There might still be some residual effects, but I think you would get rid of most of it if you could actually seek treatment.
I'm not sure.
Well,
I'm not an expert on the subject, but he says, he admits that there are bad cops, even racist officers that need to be weeded out. But general disrespect for police hurts morale. Well, to me, that sounds like a positive thing.
Well, I don't know what to do about that. If there are racist cops that need to be weeded out, exactly who is supposed to weed them out? And
yeah, because they're not doing it.
Right. Well, I mean, if they exist, then they have not been weeded out. Have not yet been weeded out. One would presume they've been on the force for years, if not decades. Who's supposed to do it? Well, I think the public, some of the public is disenchanted with the speed at which these bad cops are weeded out, that he has admitted exist. So,
sure.
How does the public go about getting what they want? Well, they express their concern. That's what's happening, and it's being called what? Abuse or something. It's being labeled as something other.
They said it was harassment.
Harassment. There's just there's no winning with this particular thing. I mean,
except to shut up and let baby have its way.
I think that's basically what's being said here is we have been able to do what we want without the public being able to see it for a very long time, and we want to continue that behavior. And we are sick and tired of all these people with cell phones. We're sick and tired of this demand that we wear these cameras on our chest. We're tired of not being trusted. We're tired of it. Well, I don't know how to address it, gentlemen, but it looks like you got a problem that somebody in your in departments like yours made. Yeah, I mean, is this a prejudice? Yes, it's a prejudice. How do we address that? I don't know, but it isn't complaining.
He mentions you, Melanie. He says there are people who really don't care if an officer gets hurt or killed.
Well, there's a reason for that, and I don't feel that way about firefighters or librarians or mailmen or...
Well, I certainly don't want officers to be injured or anything like that. I want them to understand why the feedback that they're complaining about in these two articles. I want them to understand what that's about, as opposed to just this victimhood. I mean, victimhood, it's so ordinary. So many people experience victimhood. You got to step back. The customer is always right. So you got to step back and say, what are we doing wrong here? Because
absolutely,
we are the customers, supposedly, of this monopoly protection organization.
That's a weird way to put it, but you're absolutely right. They should step back and evaluate, because feedback is critical to the continuation of any organization, whether it's the police or the state or just a company that sells you stuff.
And just in general, if that many people want you dead, maybe, they're not necessarily right, but think about it.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. It's bitcoin.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,419, silver at $15.44, and Bitcoin is trading at $10,913. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, making good on his Saturday tweet threat that, quote, "we are putting major additional sanctions on Iran on Monday," end quote. President Donald Trump said Monday he's imposing sanctions on Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah al-Khamenei, and his office, a step designed to increase pressure on the Islamic Republic.
These measures represent a strong and proportionate response to Iran's increasingly provocative actions. We will continue to increase pressure on Tehran until the regime abandons its dangerous activities and its aspirations, including the pursuit of nuclear weapons, increased enrichment of uranium, development of ballistic missiles, engagement in and support for terrorism.
Speaking to reporters at the White House on Monday, the anti-media reports that Trump said the sanctions would deny Khamenei access to financial resources, although it wasn't immediately clear why anyone believes the 80-year-old Iranian supreme leader was stupid enough to have any exposure to the Western financial system. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. U.S. Border Patrol agents found 4 bodies Sunday near the Rio Grande in South Texas, including 3 children and a young woman. Hidalgo County Sheriff Eddie Guerrera posted in a tweet Sunday night. The Mind Unleashed reports the 4 bodies were found in the Las Palomas Wildlife Management Area of Mission, Texas. U.S. Customs and Border Protection say the Rio Grande Valley area accounts for more than 40% of undocumented immigrant apprehensions and is the busiest sector in the nation. The deaths follow a surge of unauthorized migration to the U.S. last month, when more than 144,000 people were apprehended or deemed inadmissible to the country, the largest number in 13 years. The reported deaths follow several days of news reports about troubling conditions inside border area detention centers. Last week, 4 toddlers were hospitalized after lawyers visited a U.S. Border Patrol facility in McAllen and found them severely ill and not receiving medical attention. The British government last year licensed arms deals worth over $17.8 million to Israel, even as Israeli soldiers were accused of intentionally firing on Palestinian protesters at the Gaza border in what the UN says may be potential war crimes. The anti-media reports that the weapons approved for sale include ammunition, components for assault rifles, and other types of arms which could be used for repression. That's according to newly released details from the Department of International Trade, compiled by the Campaign Against the Arms Trade. Revelations of the sales to Israel come after a UK court ordered the British government last week to stop approving arms sales to Saudi Arabia because it failed to fully assess whether the equipment might be used to breach an international humanitarian law in the war in Yemen. One sale for more than $125,000 worth of military training equipment was approved on May 18th last year, 4 days after 68 Palestinians were killed by Israeli troops on the most deadly day in Gaza since the 2014 Israeli offensive. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A dying Chevron executive is excited to one day become oil. A man wearing red glasses and pink pants is probably Dutch or something, and the report of a popular fish's death is starting to get around the tank.
This is the Onion Week in Review. The nation was once again wowed this week by the feats of very strong little boy Michael Sartinsky, who, after removing his t-shirt to better display his impressive physique, deadlifted an entire frozen turkey over his head and held it aloft for 3 full seconds. The latest demonstration of the pint-sized muscle man's almost inhuman abilities comes on the heels of multiple accomplishments involving incredible displays of speed, strength, and endurance. Over the past 4 months alone, Sartinsky cleared the 3-foot chasm between his brother's bed and his own, beat his fully grown Uncle Scott in a foot race, and threw a tennis ball clear onto the roof of his 2-story house.
Pound for pound, I honestly don't think there's a stronger boy on earth. Have you felt his muscles? They're like solid rocks.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Take control of the airways. That number's 855-450-3733. Or you can use the Discord call-in lines, which you can find at discord.lrn.fm. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Melanie,
and Mark.
And Mark, you have brought in a story that is supremely interesting. You've actually brought in two at the moment, one of them dealing with Sanders, one of them dealing with New Zealand. I'm torn. Both of them are super fascinating.
Let's go with Bernie Sanders' free college proposal. Just got a whole lot bigger. This is from Vox. Tara Galshan? Sorry, Tara. Tara Galshan reporting here. Senator Bernie Sanders' proposal to make college free in the United States just got bigger. He wants to erase all student debt, too. All $1.6 trillion of it.
Now, who holds these debts?
What do you mean holds? Do you mean the creditors or the debtors?
Yeah, who are the creditors?
The Department of Education now, for the most part, unless you have a private student loan, they bought them out from Sallie Mae and all of the quasi-private lenders.
Okay, so the government now...
So the federal government
owns these debts, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm very fuzzy on how the entire student debt system works. I would expect it to be something like that because your average 18 or 19-year-old is not going to have the credit to justify a $40,000, $50,000 loan.
Well, they used
right?
to be that you used to when I was an undergrad, you would get them from a quote regular bank, but the federal government was co-signing them all.
Interesting. Also a poor decision. Well, that's the federal government's fault then.
Well,
you don't co-sign the loan of someone about whom you know nothing, especially if they're an 18-year-old going,
in some cases, these people were underage.
I want to have a master's degree in gender studies.
So I think there's so many things wrong with the college system. First, I'm going to say that, look, Bernie Sanders is not some kind of terrible socialist, even though he calls himself a democratic socialist, is not some kind of terrible socialist for wanting free college, free school up to 16th grade, okay? He's just you up to 12th grade. And then he's adding on another 4 years.
He's not me up to 12th grade.
You the listener. We're taught in talk show host school to say you often.
I didn't go to talk show host school. Well, this is my talk show host school, so thank you.
Yep, no problem. And, the average person in public wants, the government to pay for school from K through 12. What's the difference between paying from 13th grade to 16th grade? All right.
Well, one is significantly more expensive, and one suddenly is the responsibility of the student.
It's only more expensive because it's about as inefficient as it could possibly be. I mean, there's no reason for people to travel across the country to go to live at a university in order to study about a 12-step program that they're going to need to finish this baby off, and then the $100,000 in debt they're going to walk out in. I mean, this is a scam of the highest proportions. We
agree wholeheartedly.
Enslaved a generation. I don't agree with Sanders. I don't think this should be free, but I don't think any schooling should be free because if it's not free. It has value. You should pay for it.
Absolutely.
You don't want to pay for your kids to go to school? Don't have them. Don't expect me to
homeschool them.
Or don't send them to school.
Well, if you don't want to pay for them to go to school, don't have them. If you want to pay little, try homeschooling.
Well, I'm not going to say that, a person doesn't have the right to raise a kid and just not educate them at all. I would say they do have that right. They should be shunned and
My son's been to, never been to a school. Never. I mean, he goes to events and things, but
sure,
he's reading above grade level,
and he's very well adjusted.
Yeah,
as a kid.
he's not even taking curriculum right now because he's reading on his own. I don't see any particular reason to pound the arithmetic at this moment in time because he's taking the initiative almost in the entire day he spends reading.
Well, and that's going to vary by kid. So, you will have to pay for your kid's education, whether that's through tuition or internet access.
Or,
but you will not have to pay
books.
for a school.
Agreed. You're still responsible, right? Like, that's what I'm saying is don't get a dog if you expect me to feed it. Don't get a kid if you expect me to pay for its education. That's all I'm saying. And it's pretty simple. Going on to Bernie Sanders here, I don't think as soon as college becomes free, then it will be worth it.
So,
now,
what about the alternative solution of making college, like high school and elementary school, mandatory?
It sounds ridiculous.
Well, so did mandatory public schools when they first presented the idea.
Yeah, sure. At this point, public schools are a middle-class welfare babysitting day prison.
Oh yeah.
In order to keep
it's an indoctrination center
to
all
keep
the way.
people out of the work market too early. I got a job at 12 years old. That's just not happening nearly as often anymore.
Well, and even in Mississippi, you can't get a job before the age of 14, I think.
Oh, I wasn't legally working.
And you can only fair point.
I was just working. I was exchanging.
Sure, I think that was about the time I started working too then.
Yeah, good.
I never considered it in that particular context, but yes, I was paid to go out and put this cool coating stuff on the roofs of people in trailer parks.
That's awesome. That stuff works too.
It paid very well, in fact.
That elastomeric roof coating, it's great stuff. What I would like to say in Sanders' defense is this $1.6 trillion that he's proposing to wipe out of student debt, I agree with. I think that's how the federal government should have handled the financial crisis of 2000 and I don't know when we're going to call it 5 through 9 or whatever it is. They should have wiped out these people's financial debt, and then the banks got the bailout, but our kids didn't.
Yeah,
and
that was certainly a misstep. I mean, that revealed where their priorities truly are.
Right. The banks that are on the hook for this stuff got their payoff, and now they want it again. They want a double dip, and that's what I have a problem with here. The government just co-signed loans, and
stupidly, I can't believe that's how they facilitated this whole situation to be created in the first place.
That's what they did, and that's just part of it. It's the whole culture of everybody deserves an education and all that stuff.
Look, the internet is cheap. What they mean is everyone deserves
college that
fancy little sheet of paper that will help you ideally get a better job, but which actually, better jobs don't actually require that
and most
sheet
of
of
them
paper.
Are crap.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that piece of paper it's probably there's government jobs and a few sort of corporate jobs that require a bachelor's degree or something, and they just want to see that you can complete.
Right.
It's complete something. Started and complete it.
Well,
but
I went to college on scholarships and stuff, but I did get a BA in the Management of Information Services. Even so, I have never come across a job that I've applied for or that I've taken that would not have been satisfied if I had an A+ certification, which costs about $200 to require. Say one-time thing, and then you're done. Or 4 years of college at
$100,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to pay for it, because you could have started at a community college and gone 2 years there much more cheaply.
That's exactly what I did, actually.
And then gone on to the university and then got some of the courses and figured out ways to take them. You can CLEP exams too. That's a possibility. It is possible to get a low-cost education. It's just that people want that college experience. And the college experience honestly should be reserved for people who are doctors, medical professionals, engineers, probably, lawyers, and not much else.
So masters and above, essentially?
Well, the people that are going to use their degree for the thing that they're attempting to get it.
And so there are useful degrees. So if you're going to be a doctor and you have to get an undergrad in biochem first, if you're going to stay being a doctor, that is a useful use of your time.
I would like my doctor to know a little bit about biochemistry.
Yeah, most people should not go to college in the first place.
I agree entirely.
It seems like they go there to get out of their parents' house.
Sure.
Consume drugs and alcohol, and find a sexual partner.
Well, it's the next step
You could do
on
that
the road
anywhere.
to happiness, right? Tell us what you think about student loans and student loan debt. 855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE is in Free Talk Live.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out Dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
Are you concerned that the values that made America great are no longer taught in schools? Well, I am, so I got my son the Tuttle Twins children's book series.
My name is Jack, and I'm 11, and I just finished the Tuttle Twins series. It taught me about liberty, free market economics, and entrepreneurship.
Give all the young people in your life a chance at reason and clear thought, because they're not going to get it at school. There are 9 books in the series, and each one teaches a set of ideas that children aren't getting elsewhere. Go to TuttleTwins.com and use coupon code FTL to get 40% off. That's TuttleTwins.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This This is Free Talk Live. Take control of the airways. Tell us whatever's on your mind. That's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria,
Melanie,
and Mark.
Let's go to the phones. We've got Bad Slave calling in. He wants to talk about law enforcement official. Bad Slave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Thank you very much. And, one might wonder very simply if all of government, including the law enforcement officers, found a better way of funding their services other than the threat of force, that they might not start out with a whole better taste in their mouth and in their activities if they are in fact to serve the public. It's just like bizarre to me to imagine that we're going to threaten people with force to get paid, and then it's all supposed to just work out in the wash,
Well, it's definitely a racket, right? I mean, there's a reason they want to collect fines from people by issuing them speeding tickets and all of that. It ultimately goes to pay their paychecks.
Well, and all of it is coerced, and some of it's very little bit of it may be deserved. I don't know, but I would say the vast, 90+% of it is not deserved, and I think people would, there's a bunch of sycophants out there that are really happy to fund that stuff. They could do it directly. I would have no problem with that. I really believe in the earlier colonial model of the committees of safety, which is another word for militia, where people actually volunteer, just like firemen, to enforce the law. And
there's nothing particularly wrong for a town or a municipality or a county or whatever to create an organization that enforces or that protects rights, and that's basically what the police would be doing if they were, going after sort of what I would call real crimes with a victim. There's nothing wrong with it. The problem comes in with funding. Exactly how do we go about paying this? And it should be the people. I mean, there's just people who use the police more than other people.
Sure.
So who should be paying for them?
There are some black people having a pool party next door.
Right. If you're ringing that up, then maybe there should be a little bit of if you're calling the police about this issue, maybe you should be paying for that.
Another thing you guys are talking about, which, the whole idea of prohibition, was proved out to be really, 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 really bad 100 years ago. And for us to go back into really, really, really bad again and try prohibition more recently is just idiotic, and I don't understand.
Well, it's not
that.
idiotic. It's working really well.
It is idiotic if you actually believe that they're there to protect and serve.
I don't know why anybody would actually
that's what they
that.
claim. They call themselves first responders. One other thing that they do that's big on my...
they can call themselves whatever they want.
Right. One other thing that they're involved in is the interference of travel.
Yes.
The idea that the number of detentions that are occurring on the roadways of New Hampshire or anywhere probably in the Western world is a crime in and of itself, because they're not out there really protecting people or interfering with.
It's a tautology
really
that they're not out there. Yeah, it's a tautology that they're not out there protecting people, because they will pull people over and issue them fines for not having seatbelts, not in New Hampshire, but in most cases, for not having insurance, which also does not threaten anyone, for not having a tail light that works, for not having up-to-date registration, whatever.
One of two license plate lights. If your license plate is lit by the other one, but they still pull you over. And the actual reasons that, part of the problem is bad law that's being made all the time.
Bad law is 99%.
Yeah, that's really
of the
only problem, because they wouldn't be enforcing laws that they don't typically enforce laws that don't exist. It's happened, but
I got pulled over by a cop once who told me that I couldn't continue driving with my windshield cracked, and he said that Mississippi had just passed a law mandating that. There was no such law. He just wanted to pull me over.
we got a guy out of jail who was charged with violating a non-crime.
Hold on, bad slave.
He was charged with a RS statute, which is what they are in Louisiana, but the one that they quoted when they arrested him was not actually a crime. It was like RS1, how to quote this text, and that's what they booked him for.
Wow. How did that work out in the legal system?
It didn't.
Did it work out for the guy they arrested?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good then. So what else you got, bad slave?
So it does happen, but that's not common.
The idea that we can't repeal these laws, the idea that we can't make it mandatory, that in fact police officers should have probable cause before there's any detainment at all.
Well, hold on. We tried that. It was called the Constitution. It didn't work.
Well, that didn't work because nobody's enforcing it.
But what do you do with that? These are the people that swear the oath to the Constitution.
There should have been some teeth put in there, but
right. This is what I say.
Paper can't have teeth.
Any one of these politicians that votes for a law that is clearly that's considered to be unconstitutional later should be taken out to the mall there in Washington, D.C. Let's use this for something, for God's sakes, and let's just chop their heads off one at a time. Whop, whop, whop.
Hey, this is a statement I can get on board with. Let's get the guillotines out there. Let's do it.
Suddenly,
not literally.
You're going to start seeing politicians far less likely to vote for things that are unconstitutional. Then you won't have the police saying, "Oh, we're just following orders."
Absolutely. If you behead a politician in full public view and then mount his head on a spike as a warning to other would-be tyrants, you're going to have fewer would-be tyrants.
I don't know why you're stopping at one. You think that there's just one tyrannical politician in Washington, D.C.?
I think that watching one politician be beheaded and his head mounted on a pike would probably be sufficient to get the message out there to the others.
I think your generosity is gonna come back and bite you.
Well, then we'll behead two of them, or three, or however many it takes to make them, stop being bloodthirsty tyrants. This is the Call to Freedom. This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
When commercials come on, don't push the button. Instead, listen. Even if you don't sell things for a living, you're still selling in the various conversations and transactions that make up your busy day. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're a job seeker. So take a lesson from Madison Avenue. Often the fewer words, the more effective the message. Like Jiffy Lube, where where you never need an appointment. Or the Office Max ad that says, you supply the ambition, we supply everything else. How about online ticket broker StubHub.com, the way in when it's sold out? Or CyberCupidMatch.com's seductive, go ahead, it's okay to look. How cleverly and succinctly can you distill your message? For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Free Talk Live.
Now, in the light, there was a being. He started to moonwalk.
Are you saying Michael Jackson has come back from the alien spaceships?
And he said, I am Michael Jackson.
See, I called it.
There
we
go.
You talk with God throughout your life. You heard this voice that you recognized as God telling you, do you believe in magic, inviting you to look out the window, where you then saw Michael Jackson coming down from a rainbow ray of light coming from the sky. So what happened then? Did he, invite you to his playland or whatever it is he has?
9 months later, the virgin birth happened again.
Wouldn't that be ironic?
A lot of things happened that night. He asked if he could resurrect himself inside of me. I'm like, yeah.
You called it. Did you have Michael Jackson's baby?
I had Michael Jackson.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. Give us a call and tell us whatever is on your mind. That's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria,
Melanie,
and Mark.
And although we just got into a bit of a conversation about the real problem of the law enforcement issue in the United States, is ultimately the politicians who should be beheaded and had their heads put on a pike as a warning to other tyrants. As expected, that got a bit of attention, so let's go to the phones. We've got Vern calling in from Chattanooga. Vern, you are on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, I agree with the beheading and the pike thing, but you would have to do them all at once, because any left standing would gather any loyal military to them and become a true despot tyrant.
Do you think that once, the military is populated basically by the children of the people that would be demanding the executions. Now, I'm not saying that the executions will solve anything. I'm saying that the founding fathers had no guts, because these are people that were willing to shoot their government center of mass, then created a new government that supposedly was limited in all that, and then didn't put in some kind of clause for dealing with things that are unconstitutional. Please go ahead.
Well, that's true. Part of the problem was that over the years, the people have looked the other way, while the government has slowly garnered itself more and more power in multiple areas.
Absolutely.
And so that's what the real problem is: how to take the power away from them without. Because see, if they try to use our own military against us, first thing they'll do is, all right, I was in the Marine Corps, all right, and I'll tell you this. If it was me they were sending it home to to put down the rebels, they wouldn't send me to my hometown or even my home state. Because then those would be people I know. But I'm from Pennsylvania. Send me to Texas? They don't matter to me. You know, and that's the way the military guys would think of it.
Right. I've spoken with former Marines who said that, if the government, if the president or someone in power who was authorized to make this sort of determination said to kill me, they would have absolutely no hesitation about doing it.
Wow.
Right.
Well, there you go.
That's very true.
I mean, the whole point of boot camp and military training is to create that sort of obedience in people, is it not?
Yes, and
so the first step in this, the first step along this path has to be to stop enlisting.
Well, I don't know about the stop enlisting, but not on the federal level. We need more local militias, back to what it once was, the people in control of their area.
I'm not sure that any local militia is going to be competent enough, trained enough, or equipped enough to combat the United States military.
Well, he's saying there wouldn't be one, but...
There wouldn't be a United States military at all?
Well, yeah, so still quit enlisting in the federal, quote, federal military, right?
Yeah,
sure.
There would be a federal military, albeit small, like was originally intended. The federal government wasn't supposed to have a standing army.
They weren't, but I don't see a lot, to be honest, I don't see a lot of value in supposed to. I mean, a lot of things weren't supposed to be the case, but I mean, ultimately they are. The United States federal government does have a standing army, a massive one, the most well-equipped in human history, the most powerful in human history.
I don't see how to avoid a standing Navy. I mean, that's a difficult one. I would agree that basically... special forces or something is the level that you would want your standing federal military trained to, and anything less than that should be kept at the state level. We're not going to have any tank battles any longer. That ship has sailed long ago. A large army isn't really necessary.
Producing them.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's a make-work program.
About this year's models.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to let you go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vern, for the call. It's certainly an interesting problem, the entire issue with the military. And obviously there are ways of waging guerrilla warfare against the tanks and the drones and things like that. But I'm just not sure that, if push came to shove and we actually threatened the federal government's ability to enforce its arbitrary regulations upon us, like seriously started eliminating their military, but through some sort of peaceful means, I believe that the very first thing they would do was use that military to exterminate whatever element within society was causing them to lose their power in the first place. Because I see the state as an institution that, above all else, wants to perpetuate its own existence.
Right, so which is why you have to have decent numbers, and I don't know exactly what that percentage is. I'll leave that to people who are more competent in that area. But yeah, so if it's just 100 people, obviously you don't go up against the feds. If it's 100% of the population,
did, and they did
died.
Fine. No, they didn't.
Don't count on it happening for very long, and it was real rough on them, even though they managed to win their court cases.
Yeah, but
pleasant.
If it's everybody, I mean, they're not going to bomb. Maybe they will, but there'd be no point in killing like absolutely every person.
No, because then there's no one for them to have power over, right?
Yeah.
It's a pyramid thing, and they need the base of the pyramid to exist.
Yeah, so just because it's not time to go up against them now doesn't mean they will exist in power for all eternity.
So wait a second. The United States military dropped dramatically in size after World War II. It has dropped a few times since then. Clinton actually cut the size of the military at some point. I mean, the military gets its size cut, if that's what we're talking about here. Ever since 2001 with the new perpetual endless war,
sure,
it hasn't really happened since then.
It may, though. I would imagine it's hard to get people to enlist to go fight a perpetual war for reasons that they don't understand and that they weren't even alive to see happen in the first place. Even if you buy into the notion that the reason we're in Iraq and Afghanistan and Syria and soon Iran was because of September 11, 2001. A lot of the people there today, they were not alive through that. They may have been literally alive through it, but they would have been 2 years old, 3 years old.
Now,
so they're not going to understand it in the first place. How do you get someone like that to enlist?
I don't know. I find it all very confusing. So first off, I don't want to seem like I'm going after Trump on this one. I don't think he's that terrible or whatever. I don't want to seem like I'm going after the military on this. But I will say that if we are to believe Trump's story here, that the attack was imminent on Iran, and then he called it off because too many Iranians would die. What I am to believe is that many Americans were ready to go to war over a broken robot. Yeah. And they were willing to kill their fellow man that likely had nothing to do with breaking the robot over it all. And that's a real problem. The problem is the culture of order following almost. And I understand you kind of need that to fight a military. The problem is that the people who are going to use the military are the ones that you can least trust. So sure. If we want to extol soldiers for being willing to lay down their lives to protect our freedoms, and that sounds great.
Well, they're certainly willing to give their lives to protect a robot.
Well, they're willing to lay their lives down for freedom, but they're also willing to lay their lives down for a lot of other dumb things. And this is the problem. What people should, I think the best solution you've got is that a soldier should be able to quit his job. Instead of this signing up for 2 or 4 years or whatever, and you signed your contract, that I get it. Maybe it takes a little while to quit. So within 2 weeks, quit your job, whatever. But they should be able to quit. And if they start seeing these mass situations of people quitting, then maybe that'll change things. But then again, cops can quit their jobs anytime, and they don't.
That's true. But, cops tend to...
I think cops are lied to less up front.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
cops, they are a bit different in that, they don't expect to actually be shot at on a regular basis. And they're paid a lot better
than the military, too.
Yeah, they don't really expect to give their lives during the course of service. This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Introducing Reveal from GCNlife.com. Beverly Hills dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman invented Reveal, which contains polypeptides with natural botanicals and no parabens, sulfates, silicones, or dyes for a salon-quality hair growth product. Reveal. Here's Dr. Newman.
I have treated a lot of patients who lose their hair and they lose their confidence. We've created a unique set of polypeptides, which we call HPT6. The HPT6 contains the polypeptides from 6 different plants. The scalp infusion treatment should be used on wet or dry scalp. The Reveal hair care system is designed to be used for men and women alike.
Get Reveal at GCNlife.com with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So try Reveal today at GCNlife.com or 844-443-6637. Plus a discount up to 25% off for Reveal at GCNlife.com or 844-443-6637.
Finally, there's a way for you to get into the blockchain, the hottest financial sector without all the speculation. Now, enjoy a 27% annualized payment each month without the ups and downs of Bitcoin. Seen on programs broadcast on Fox Business News, blockchain data centers offer an equipment leasing program in the explosive digital asset marketplace. Inspired by entrepreneurs who sold picks and shovels during the gold rush, the money is in the mining equipment used to manufacture dozens of critical digital assets. Not a security, IPO, or note, blockchain data centers have a proven turnkey equipment sale leaseback program with a 27% annualized lease payment deposited into your bank account each month. Don't miss this one. Stake your claim today. Call 800-600-3388. That's 800-600-3388. These valuable lease contracts won't last long. Call now. 800-600-3388. 800-600-3388. Equipment offer poses a financial risk to owners. Consult with financial professionals before purchasing. Not an offer to buy or sell a security which requires an offering document.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and
Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Take control of the airways. 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Melanie,
and Mark.
And America loves its rich old white dudes who have solutions to problems, or at least claim to have solutions to problems. But we're not convinced that Bernie Sanders' plan for solving these problems is of any use to anyone. But Mark, you look like you've got something that's on your mind.
Yeah, I want to talk about American financing, americanfinancing.net. You can go ahead and apply for a mortgage right online. They've got the digital mortgage, which is the ability to apply, receive your pre-qualification, and close your loan doing everything online with American Financing's digital mortgage. They're a family-owned mortgage broker, and they've been helping people for 20 years. They're A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they got more than 3,200 Google reviews. They never charge upfront fees like the other lenders do, and they've got every kind of loan in the industry. Go check them out at americanfinancing.net. If you're looking to get a mortgage, you need a second opinion. You really need to contact these people. They make it easy for you. They've got a telephone number for you. Please give that a call, too. Americanfinancing.net if you're looking to refinance, if you're looking to get a home, if you're looking to, even take care of credit card debt or something like that. It's americanfinancing.net. Their NMLS number is 182334. The telephone number is 888-804-0303. 888-804-0303. americanfinancing.net.
Very cool. So Bernie Sanders, speaking of financing, evidently is not happy that the government co-signed millions upon millions of loans for people about whom it knew absolutely nothing. And when those people, understandably, could not actually pay back those loans, a lot of chaos happened. Apparently, it comes to the tune of about $1.5 trillion worth of debt that Bernie Sanders wants to just wave away with the flick of his pen.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he wants to go on here. So Bernie Sanders' proposal would make college free in the United States, and the proposal just got bigger. He wants to erase all student debt, too, $1.6 trillion of it. The Vermont senator will unveil the most ambitious higher education plan in the Democratic 2020 presidential primary so far on Monday. The proposal would make 2- and 4-year public and tribal colleges and universities tuition-free and debt-free, and erase the roughly $1.6 trillion in student loan debt currently owed in the U.S., paid for by a tax on Wall Street. So there's some kind of
He wants to tax Wall Street to the tune of $1.5 trillion.
I'd rather see it just wiped out if I was doing it. I mean, this is what the federal...
it's their debt, right?
Right. The
just
United
say,
States government,
this doesn't exist anymore.
Well, here's what they could say is that, all right, all you banks that took that bailout from the Federal Reserve during 2009, we're calling in that debt. We're the co-signers on this loan through Sallie Mae or whatever. Melanie, tell me how legal or illegal what I'm saying is.
Well,
it's
not necessarily coherent. So the Department of Education is the holder of those loans now. So there are no banks to go after.
No, there are. Well, at some point there was. I mean, back in my wife's loan was through a bank, and we just paid it off.
So
2 years, the end of last year.
The problem is that the government people owe this money to the government.
As of now, yes, unless you have a private loan, which is. It's a weird distinction because banks aren't really private either. So if you actually have the credit to go out and take out a $40,000 signature loan, you can do that, or at least you could last time I checked. You might not be able to anymore. Then those loans presumably still exist, but the Department of Education bought out all of the student loans.
So, hypothetical, if we burned down the Department of Education... and got rid of all of its records, this debt would also go away.
There's the joke that goes around of why haven't the hackers erased the student loans yet?
Sure. I mean, it's a fair question.
Yeah, so you would have to destroy all of the records held by the federal government regarding these loans. Then I don't know what they would do. They... in theory, wouldn't exist anymore. I don't know how plausible that of a plan that is.
Well, in theory, Betsy DeVos or any other high-ranking official within the Trump administration could just vaporize this debt. Is that accurate?
Well,
I mean, it would be defaulting, technically, but it would be the government defaulting on its own debt.
Well, it wouldn't be defaulting because they're not the debtors. So
the people would be defaulting.
The Department of Education...
Well, no, they would be defaulting because, I mean, this is... the government guaranteed these loans and then banks gave these loans.
But then they bought the loans that they themselves co-signed on.
But none of this money ever actually really existed or was loaned to the people out in the streets.
So, and I am not familiar with every reg for the Department of Education or government debt, but... presumably, unless there's some other reg conflicting with this, a government agency could forgive debts that it holds. I'm not aware of anything that makes that not the case. That doesn't mean I'm right.
So, the Department of Education, it bought this massive amount of debt from quasi-private banks. Let's just call them that. And this happened during the 2007 bailouts?
No.
So when did this happen? When did people... When was the Department of Education...
sometime...
And who in the hell was okay with the government just buying $1.5 trillion worth of debt?
They switched over sometime when I was in late undergrad, early grad school. I don't know exactly, but that was definitely after 2007.
What was that like? Okay.
So I started law school in 2010, I think.
Okay, so at some point between 2007 and now, the federal government took $1.5 trillion and bought a bunch of debt.
Yes.
Who in their right mind buys debt like that in the first place?
Well, they were also co-signing. It kind of was less of a hit at that decision point because they were the co-signers on all of it anyway. So they were on the hook for all of it anyway. It's just that now they're on the hook for it, and also they were the ones making the interest payments.
Is anyone else hearing this and thinking like, this whole scheme is retarded? and should just be burned to the ground, literally, not figuratively.
I mean, the government really set this up well for themselves. You can pretty much get out of any debt by filing bankruptcy except student loan debt. And that, so I mean, they're basically they've managed to enslave, to turn into serfs, peons. I don't know what term you want to use to describe this form, this increased level of slavery under which this modern generation operates. But if that generation basically has the option at this point of either A, not working, or B, working and giving up some large portion of its paycheck to the government. And it's like it was tricked. I mean, I don't know what else to say. When you're taking young people and, feeding them this line, they don't. I mean, there's a reason credit card companies are targeting 18-year-olds. It's because they want to get them in debt.
Right.
I just don't think that most 18-year-olds are prepared for this particular kind of burden.
I neither agree nor disagree, but it's certainly a predatory practice.
Well, the federal government should, at the very least, you'd be able to bankruptcy your way out of this, because then they would start, maybe we should be careful who we loan our stuff to.
Right.
It should be,
and not co-sign on anyone's debt, no matter what.
Right. That's just nuts. But I don't know. It's a very difficult situation that young people are in these days, and politicians think they're going to fix it. And the way to fix it is not giving away free college, because it's just. No, I mean
that's a different issue. I feel like
it's all wrapped together here in his proposal.
Yeah, but Sanders is nuts. We have the benefit of not being nuts. I mean, to me, the whole how are people going to be educated in the future is a different question of what are we going to do about this massive amount of debt that the federal government took on by co-signing the loans of people who were not mentally prepared maturely to make a decision about taking on this amount of debt and now cannot pay it back.
Yeah.
Those to me are different questions.
Well, that they are different questions, but they're being lumped together by so many. It's like, hey, you can't just give free college to the kids that made the mistake. You got to give it to everybody from here on out. Well, no.
Well, the kids didn't make the mistake, though. Right? The federal government did.
Well, the kids made it too. They signed a piece of paper, said that they'd pay it back. Their family.
But were they or were they not mentally competent to make that sort of decision at the age of 18?
What about their parents?
This is Free Talk Live. Tell us what you think. 855-450-3733.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means, stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,419, silver at $15.44, and Bitcoin is trading at $10,913. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, making good on his Saturday tweet threat that, quote, "we are putting major additional sanctions on Iran on Monday," end quote. President Donald Trump said Monday he's imposing sanctions on Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah al-Khamenei, and his office, a step designed to increase pressure on the Islamic Republic.
These measures represent a strong and proportionate response to Iran's increasingly provocative actions. We will continue to increase pressure on Tehran until the regime abandons its dangerous activities and its aspirations, including the pursuit of nuclear weapons, increased enrichment of uranium, development of ballistic missiles, engagement in and support for terrorism.
Speaking to reporters at the White House on Monday, the anti-media reports that Trump said the sanctions would deny Khamenei access to financial resources. Although it wasn't immediately clear why anyone believes the 80-year-old Iranian supreme leader was stupid enough to have any exposure to the Western financial system. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. U.S. Border Patrol agents found 4 bodies Sunday near the Rio Grande in South Texas, including 3 children and a young woman. Hidalgo County Sheriff Eddie Guerrera posted in a tweet Sunday night. The Mind Unleashed reports the 4 bodies were found in the Las Palomas Wildlife Management Area of Mission, Texas. U.S. Customs and Border Protection say the Rio Grande Valley area accounts for more than 40% of undocumented immigrant apprehensions and is the busiest sector in the nation. The deaths follow a surge of unauthorized migration to the U.S. last month, when more than 144,000 people were apprehended or deemed inadmissible to the country, the largest number in 13 years. The reported deaths follow several days of news reports about troubling conditions inside border area detention centers. Last week, 4 toddlers were hospitalized after lawyers visited a U.S. Border Patrol facility in McAllen and found them severely ill and not receiving medical attention. The British government last year licensed arms deals worth over $17.8 million to Israel, even as Israeli soldiers were accused of intentionally firing on Palestinian protesters at the Gaza border in what the UN says may be potential war crimes. The anti-media reports that the weapons approved for sale include ammunition, components for assault rifles, and other types of arms which could be used for repression. That's according to newly released details from the Department of International Trade, compiled by the Campaign Against the Arms Trade. Revelations of the sales to Israel come after a UK court ordered the British government last week to stop approving arms sales to Saudi Arabia because it failed to fully assess whether the equipment might be used to breach an international humanitarian law in the war in Yemen. One sale for more than $125,000 worth of military training equipment was approved on May 18th last year, 4 days after 68 Palestinians were killed by Israeli troops on the most deadly day in Gaza since the 2014 Israeli offensive. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat. Reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Now that multiple Thomas E. Dewey High School sources have confirmed that junior Jessica Milley will soon begin putting out, with many speculating that she'll go all the way with her boyfriend Josh Gibson as early as this Friday, Milley's classmates have been quick to weigh in on the news.
Jessica was sitting at this table when she told Erica that she was finally going to do Josh.
Jessica's pretty hot, so I'm happy with her decision.
I was pretty certain the next girl to start putting out would be Amy Courtley because everybody knows her mom's a slut.
While the majority of students were somewhat surprised that Jessica might give it up at Andy Wheeler's house party this Friday, possibly on one of Wheeler's 2 basement couches, Milley's intentions didn't come as a shock to some. Now that the news is settling in, several Dewey High sources are suggesting that Milley's decision could cause a domino effect in which even more classmates begin putting out in the near future.
I think I'm going to start putting out in January or February, definitely by prom.
Keep checking theonion.com for more news as this story progresses.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. Take control of the airways with 855-450-3733. Again, that's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live. And with you tonight, it's Aria,
Melanie,
and Mark.
And I've got news about Bitcoin doing basically what it was designed to do, and the Federal Reserve is not particularly happy about it. But, you know, we wouldn't expect them to be. I would actually expect them to pull out every trick in the book in order to stop legitimate cryptocurrency that is decentralized and not controlled by any state power, including these sorts of propaganda hit pieces like we're about to get into from Forbes, and including things like Libra, which is Facebook's, quote, cryptocurrency. Of course, we're big fans of cryptocurrency here on Free Talk Live, and we always have been.
I'm not the biggest fan of Libra, but I am a fan of Facebook helping to promote cryptocurrency, basically.
I'm not sure to what extent Libra really qualifies as a cryptocurrency, but hey,
they're calling it that. I mean, I don't know what it is. They got nodes and stuff.
They do have all the stuff. But speaking of all the stuff, if you want to know more about cryptocurrencies and why I would contend that Libra is not one.
Right. If you go to news.bitcoin.com and you begin reading these news stories, you'll be better educated in this subject than I am, honestly. I mean, I do read the news stories at news.bitcoin.com, but I don't read them all. And I've got a lot of other news stories I'm consuming. You want to find out about cryptocurrencies, what's going on with cryptocurrencies, you know, the best places to look, because the bull runs appears to have started. I don't know. Tone Vase, I listened to him recently. He considers him some kind of expert. So he says he's not going to call it a bull run until Bitcoin gets back up to 19,500 like it was
That's
previously.
a high standard for a bull run.
Yeah, I understand. Well, you know, whatever. He's trying to seem equanimical or something. Anyway, you want to find out more about Bitcoin, go check out bitcoin.com. This is the site, and they've got all the information. They make it so you can buy, sell, trade, hold, all that stuff. Right there, they've got all the information at bitcoin.com. And
they've also got local.bitcoin.com now.
Yeah, I don't really understand that entirely, but I guess you can buy and sell Bitcoins with people right in your neighborhood.
Are you familiar with localbitcoins.com?
Yes, well, unless my audience isn't, but yeah, I've heard of it, yeah.
It's that, but with Bitcoin Cash.
And blind escrow, and they don't hold your coins.
And messages are user-to-user encrypted. Bitcoin.com does not have access to the encryption keys. It's far more secure and far safer.
See what I mean? Bitcoin.com, it's the site where they've got everything regarding cryptocurrency.
It's an excellent site. This news article does not actually come from Bitcoin.com, but evidently Bitcoin is threatening to take power from the U.S. Federal Reserve. And wow, they are not happy about it. Melanie?
Yeah, so, I mean, people usually aren't happy when someone is... And it's not like Bitcoin came out and said, "Hi, we're Bitcoin. We're going to take your power now."
Well, I mean, they
just
did.
By their existence.
The early newsletters from Satoshi pretty much said that.
Oh, okay. Well,
as I understand it, I haven't read them, but you know, I do Call to Freedom, and Michael Hempton is with me, and he's read them, and that's how he relates them to me. As they did pretty clearly state that the point was to destroy the U.S. financial system.
They haven't said this until Libra came out, by the way. They weren't scared of a grassroots financial movement. They're scared of a corporate financial movement.
Well, I'm not sure. I think Libra is part of the same system they're playing in an attempt to squeeze out Bitcoin and other actual...
Libra can still be controlled.
Right.
It is controlled, no doubt, but...
Right, so then they shouldn't be scared of it.
It's Facebook. It's a typical fascist tactic to do something with this hand while complaining about it with this hand, you know?
The United States federal government doesn't want to lose any power. If it loses power through remittances, which is what Facebook's trying to get into here, then it's going to be unhappy with Facebook.
But Facebook is pretty heavily controlled by the U.S. government.
And controls the U.S. government pretty heavily. Right? Like these multinational corporations are not just, damsels out there fanning themselves, wondering what the federal government is going to do to them next. I mean, those politicians are bought and paid for by Mark Zuckerberg.
Certainly.
I mean, yeah, maybe
they're in bed together, absolutely.
Maybe he goes in there every once in a while and looks uncomfortable in his little skin suit or whatever it is that he's doing. But, I mean, all in all, they're not going to do anything to him.
Well, they will if he threatens the power of the Federal Reserve, which is really where the state's power comes.
I mean, I honestly think it's likelier that the federal government or the Treasury Department or some aspect of the federal government has asked Facebook to do this, because U.S. dollar coin released by the Fed is not going to appeal to people, even the people who aren't, privacy-minded and decentralized focused.
Right, yeah, so I don't think that they're scared of the Facebook coin. I think that if it was doing something
they wanted the Facebook coin. I think the federal government wants it.
But I do think that because that currency is so central to a state's power, if it started doing something the feds didn't want it to do, that he would have no real choice. Like, they would make him stop.
I just don't see the entities as being distinct at this point. I think that Facebook doing it is doing so on behalf of the U.S. government.
I don't think they're that coordinated either. I mean, that's giving a lot of coordination credit to one of the most disorganized models of organization in human history. I don't know that I go that far. The one thing's for certain one thing's likely is that this crypto bull run is probably in part because Facebook said, we got a cryptocurrency too. And everybody's like, oh, cryptocurrencies. Oh, now Facebook's involved. I guess we're back in business now. But
the price increase is definitely correlated.
Yep.
That may not necessarily be causation, but it has certainly increased significantly since we first covered the story on Free Talk Live, which was like the day it broke. So,
I mean, I'm releasing my rap album here tomorrow, and I mean, maybe it's correlating with that.
Are you really?
Can you imagine a rap album by me?
I do music. I will help produce this. I will make this happen.
So awful.
It would. Sorry.
It would be awful.
There is a certain beauty in that, like
whitest
Plan
rap
9
album.
from outer space.
Kids
come
stay
on.
in school. It's really cool.
So Bitcoin has roared over the last few weeks to what many feared was a terminal decline since its peak in 2017. I don't know how many actually thought it was in a terminal decline.
I think a lot of sort of outsiders, Bitcoin's dead. Turns out it's dead again. I mean, they don't know.
I expected it to go down to $500, and it's looking, I think I've got 2.5 more months before I have to, say, okay, I was wrong, which is fine.
It's not going down.
Yeah, so there were people who were saying that, but there was other people who like to part-time day trade long-term assets, which obviously is going to be a mess. So they would say things like that.
Well, if you don't keep careful enough records, I can see why it would be a mess.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of people who went and got a second mortgage in their house and bought more Bitcoin than they could afford to lose, and then tried to day trade it, but also not pay attention to it. So, yeah, guess what? You lost. Like,
I am no expert with this, particular aspect of human existence, but did people really take out like second mortgages in order to buy Bitcoin?
She said a lot, and a lot is not necessary. It's a term that can mean a couple of things.
I would say more than 2 would count as a lot for doing something this stupid.
There were.
Well, okay. To be fair, it will only be stupid if they didn't. If they held and Bitcoin goes to 100,000 on this next bull run, are they stupid? Because
if they
yes.
held, but
okay.
Yes, stupid but lucky, I would say.
Yeah, so I would still say yes, because if you go risk your house for money you can't lose, you're stupid even if you win. If you take out a $100,000 second mortgage and use it to buy lottery tickets and you happen to win, you're still stupid.
You know, I think Mark may be correct. I don't know if I can call such a person stupid, because they did win.
But you didn't choose to win. You chose to take the risk. That's where your decision point was.
But the risk rewarded them. But they were rewarded for taking that risk.
People sometimes get rewarded for doing stupid things.
I like this Forrest Gump saying, stupid is as stupid does, and if it works out, then I guess it was a smart move.
I don't know if I can call it smart, but I'm not going to call it stupid.
Go ahead and
either.
call the stupid lotto winner, the lotto winner stupid while he's sitting in his Lamborghini and he drives off.
Yeah. I'm not sure how
He's
smart
probably
he
going to be bankrupt
was.
in 3 years or 5 years like the rest of them.
Yeah. 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE as in Free Talk Live.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, capitalists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event. Even with coupon code FTL50. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTL50 for a discount.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. Take control of the airways. 855-450-3733 is 855-450-FREE is in Free Talk Live. With you tonight, it's Aria.
Melanie.
And Mark.
And we've been talking about Bitcoin and the financial system's reaction to Bitcoin, what its purpose might have been. But Mark, you got something that you need to share with us.
Yeah, I want to tell you about My Magic Mud. My Magic Mud is, well, they have a whole line of oral health care products, all of which I think are great. But I am most enamored with their original product, and that is a black tooth powder made of charcoalized coconut shells and bentonite clay. And I know that sounds strange.
It does.
But look at your toothpaste's ingredients and, try to pronounce that stuff, and then, it won't seem quite so strange at that point. Clinically proven to whiten teeth, so that's what the science says, that it definitely whiten your teeth, and it will. It'll remove stains from your teeth, absolutely. But I'm certain that it gets my teeth cleaner than toothpaste does. If you don't believe me, go to mymagicmud.com, use coupon code FTL20, get 20% off, and try it yourself. See whether your mouth feels cleaner after brushing with My Magic Mud than it does with your regular toothpaste. I believe that you will have that experience. And I think oral health is important. And I think lots of other people do too, because turns out they want to talk to people and kiss people and hang out with people. And if you got a nasty mouth, then nobody wants to do that with you. You can find it at most major health food stores, Sprouts, CVS, Natural Grocers, and Walmart's natural beauty aisle. But if you really want to get My Magic Mud, I say go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20. Save 20% off of their already low price, mymagicmud.com. Coupon code FTL20.
So Bitcoin is doing phenomenally. It's just above $11,000, up significantly, about 34% from where it was just a month ago.
Moon!
All good things. To the moon, right? The Bitcoin price at the time of this article was hovering around $8,000 per Bitcoin. So this article comes to us from May the 15th of 2019, just slightly over a month ago. And it is now $3,000 higher per Bitcoin than it was at the time of writing just 5 weeks ago.
Okay.
And even that is still double what it began the year at, according to them. That's not correct. Bitcoin didn't hit $4,000, did it?
It was at 3.
Bitcoin hit $3,000 this year?
I don't know if it was this year, but it was not too distant past.
Sure, okay. And it's often closely tied to public awareness of cryptocurrencies, and the latest Bitcoin bull run beginning in early April restarted the public debate on Bitcoin. I don't recall a bull run in early April, but whatever. But now, U.S. Democrat Congressman Brad Sherman has urged his colleagues to consider banning Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies due to the threat they pose to U.S. international financial power, saying that Bitcoin needs to be nipped in the bud.
Okay, so it's always some politician or another that's coming out and helping us promote Bitcoin by saying, "Oh man, I know you hate our whole class of profession. I know you hate politicians and bankers and all that stuff, but man, we politicians and bankers just can't do our jobs," which is apparently lying to you and stealing from you with this new internet currency. I mean, I got to thank these guys. Somebody give me an opportunity to write a check to these people. Man, they're so good at this.
I was going to say, are we paying them? Like, are they on our payroll secretly? Because, I mean, I couldn't write a better ad.
He says an awful lot of our international power comes from the fact that the United States dollar is the standard unit of international finance and transactions. Well, he's not wrong, and Bitcoin cryptocurrencies are a threat to that. That is by design, sir. That is Bitcoin doing what it was designed to do. It's not a coincidence that Bitcoin came out right at the same time as the Great Recession, as they called it, in 2007. They broke the system. They revealed the system to be flawed, at the very least. And people began looking for solutions. And among those solutions was Satoshi Nakamoto, who produced the Bitcoin white paper and conceived the blockchain technology. Clearing through the New York Fed is critical for major oil and other transactions.
Definitely oil, yeah.
Yeah. It is the announced purpose of the supporters of cryptocurrency to take that power away from us, to put us in a position where the most significant sanctions we have against Iran, for example, would become irrelevant. Well, he noticed that we're trying
As though the United States has any business forcing the world to sanction Iran.
Well, in his warped understanding of the world, he certainly does. I mean, that sort of nationalist, jingoist mindset believes that, the United States should lead the entire world. And if they don't like it, they should be invaded. They're demented and insane. All they care about is power.
Well, I don't think that Iran's any different, honestly.
I would agree.
But, I mean, look, when you use... This is just using money as a weapon. You're not hurting the people who are in charge. If somehow the world embargoed the United States, would it be Trump that would suffer?
No, certainly
not. Would it be the politicians that suffered? Would it be the top quintile of earners that suffered, or at least suffered anywhere near what the bottom and the several other quintiles beneath them suffered?
No, it would be us on the ground who still need washing machines and dryers and tires and all of these other things not produced in the United States who suffer as a result.
And the statement there is that, well, that's okay. I guess that the poor people should rise up and take the person out of power. And that means that you are admitting that this is financial warfare. So I just don't want the financial warfare. At this point, I haven't seen the countries that are actually able to wage it morally. That's all.
Well, I don't know about countries, but we are certainly waging financial warfare against the state. And I would argue that we're doing so morally.
I don't know that you're anywhere. I mean, I don't know. The gun may have been cocked, but I don't know warfare has been declared. If the Bitcoin is in such a state at this point that I think the government could still squash it if it wanted to. It'd be much harder than it was previously, but it could certainly put a dent in it. Bitcoin hasn't become ubiquitous or anything.
Certainly not.
Yeah. I think this guy's right, and nobody's going to listen to him.
I certainly hope they don't. And if they do listen to him, I hope that what they take away from this is, I should buy some cryptocurrency.
And what I want to say when I say Bitcoin here, I mean basically whatever cryptocurrency manages to come out on top. I don't mean BTC. I don't know that BTC is going to be the currency that comes out on top. They certainly need to address the cost and their fees and all that stuff. And
yeah, the fees are absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
Use Bitcoin Cash instead. If you actually need a currency, Bitcoin Cash is probably the leading contender for threatening the power of the state right now.
It's one of those. I mean, I'm pulling for Bitcoin Cash myself, but I don't know. I wouldn't claim to know what's going to do it. Maybe it'll be Libra. I don't know.
Well, at the end of the day, I think what I'm actually pulling for is Monero or Zcash or one of these cryptocurrencies that is significantly more private.
Those would be preferable.
Yeah, because they're actually built around privacy, whereas Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, and all these other public blockchain cryptocurrencies are not. This isn't to say they're problematic, right? Because they're not. Bitcoin, that's BTC, is problematic because of its extremely high transaction fees. But we're going to talk more about why the state, as we know it, hates cryptocurrency. This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com, and it's a place you can send any business, and they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. Helpmetakebitcoin.com.
Are you concerned that the values that made America great are no longer taught in schools? Well, I am, so I got my son the Tuttle Twins children's book series.
My name is Jack, and I'm 11, and I just finished the Tuttle Twins series. It taught me about liberty, free market economics, and entrepreneurship.
Give all the young people in your life a chance at reason and clear thought, because they're not going to get it at school. There are 9 books in the series, and each one teaches a set of ideas that children aren't getting elsewhere. Go to TuttleTwins.com and use coupon code FTL to get 40% off. That's TuttleTwins.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Tell us whatever is on your mind. 855-450-3733. With you tonight is Aria,
Melanie,
and Mark.
And Mark?
Freedom Fest. Free Talk Live is going to Freedom Fest. It's really soon. It's July the 17th through the 20th. You need to get your tickets now. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL. Get your tickets. We're going to be there, and lots of other folks that you want to see are going to be there too. Glenn Beck, Candace Owens, Penn Jillette, John Mackey, so many. Stephen, I'm looking forward to hearing Stephen Moore and Grover Norquist. It's going to be lots of different kind of folks, libertarians, conservatives, liberals, all coming together just to hear real debates and share real solutions and converse freely. You can get your tickets at freedomfest.com/FTL. You use coupon code FTL50, you save $50 off your ticket. we'd love to have you come and hang with us at Freedom Fest. But if you need a little convincing, go to freedomfest.com/FTL and see the 5 best speeches from last year for free. So you can go there and see Judge Napolitano, Alan Dershowitz, Charlie Kirk, Heather McDonald, John Mackey, all for free. It's freedomfest.com/FTL. It's July the 17th through the 20th at the Paris Hotel in Vegas. So freedomfest.com/FTL.
It's a beautiful hotel. Let's go to the phones. We've got David calling in from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, unified theory of everything. The last question you posed was, why does the government not want cryptocurrencies to be used? Is that how you phrased it?
I don't recall exactly how I phrased it. I feel pretty sure that I know the reason that the government doesn't like cryptocurrencies. And it's because, they're all about power. That's what motivates the existence of the state anyway. Part of the entire human condition is fighting within ourselves, our own lust for power, resisting it and overcoming it. Finding self-discipline to be a restriction, a withholding of one's power to be the ultimate form of expression of power. But I'm a nihilist. Go ahead.
Let me support what you just said with the, like I said, unified theory of everything's borrowing in a tongue-in-cheek manner from physics.
Sure.
The power aspect with government, with humans, tied into current events, Bernie Sanders and the rest of them wanting to give free college, for instance. And whenever these people propose something like eliminating cryptocurrency or giving free education, free college, you have to. It always seems to be a Trojan horse. They propose something that the first reaction is, oh yeah, that's cool, that's great, and then if you're wise, you look behind it as to, okay, what will be the ramifications of this, and how might that benefit or hurt this side or that side? And so if you look behind the ramifications of giving a free education, if you make education free, what might that do to for-profit educators, for instance? If there's no money in it, if all students can go to a state school for free, what does that do to the market for fee?
It destroys
education?
its value.
Well, there's also not really a whole lot of private colleges. I think there's 2 in the U.S. that are actually private.
Only 2?
Really private.
Right.
Because Harvard and all of those are funded by the feds. So.
Absolutely. But I would have expected there to be more than 2, is all I was getting at.
I was able to find 2.
Wow.
Yeah, that's been that way for a long time.
Okay.
I'm not surprised. The government wants to control education because that's how it secures its long-term power, by telling people what to think, what is real, and what to believe.
Right. You just beat me to the next point, is that if they can then funnel all students to the free education that the taxpayers are paying for, then they can conceivably control curriculum. Well, actually, they already do control curriculum, and therefore they can continue the brainwash of all students from basically birth through, every level, PhD and beyond. And so, coming full circle back, why that you already answered. Why might the government not want cryptocurrency? The answer was power, and then adding in the unified theory of everything, tying it. Every single move seems to be part of their attempt to control, not just this one and that one here and there, but literally every single thing that the government does seems to somehow be motivated by the desire to control, with almost nothing.
Well, that is the state, is it not? The state is a mechanism of control established
That's what it's there for.
and used by
I
people.
don't think most people would even argue that humans probably need some level of control. Not that we're the best species for it. We don't take it particularly well, but there's going to be some mechanism for control, no matter what that is.
I prefer self-discipline, self-control.
I like that idea too.
The market will control your behavior real quick too if they quit interfering with it.
That's true as well. And if that fails, then evolution will control one's behavior.
It's always Darwin.
Darwin will fix the problem.
So on one hand, you have some necessary level of control, and on the other hand, you have what I was saying is the desire to control absolutely everything, and there's a good distance between those two. I'm
not sure there is. I know people like to assert that there's a large difference between the two, but you got to remember the original United States government was supposed to be very, very small. And having this power apparatus in place for people who want to just control those few things that absolutely have to be controlled, it attracts people who want to control more, who want more power to exert over other people's lives. And if you fast forward any length of time, you're going to find that, they have decided through magical reasoning that's able to convince the average stupid person out there, because the average person out there is stupid, that they need to have this additional control over people's lives, or else we'll just fall to the drug lords and warlords. And criminal rape gangs will roam the streets.
Which is a good description of the U.S. government, because the CIA is drug lords, a lot of departments are warlords, more the Department of Defense and Pentagon and stuff like that. And
they certainly got their soldiers guarding poppy fields.
Yeah, and a lot of police departments, engage in all sorts of violence. So,
David, thank you so much for the call. Certainly a lot to think about. I'm not convinced that any amount of restrictions or definitions, okay, these are the things that the government clearly needs to control, whether it's monarchism or classical liberalism or whatever, these are okay, and we can allow the government to control these things, but somehow we won't attract the type of person that wants to expand that level of control. I'm not convinced that's possible.
Well, it's not, because documents and statements aren't what limits control. Tanks and drones are what limit control. And you either have them in enough capacity to control the population or you don't.
I think that some people who are not sociopathic will be attracted to seats of power. I don't know what the percentage is. I hope it's more than single digits. I don't suspect that percentage has more than a 1, perhaps a 2 in front of it. But I would say that the vast majority, the super majority of people who are attracted to power are probably either corrupt or corruptible.
So
and
we need to find a way of attracting people to power that does not corrupt them, or attract people who are incorruptible to power.
I don't know that people are incorruptible.
You could cut out the people that are attracted to power by randomly assigning people to tasks.
Is that not a version of force? What if they don't want to fulfill the task?
Well, you could just go on to the next person.
Okay. I don't know. I don't necessarily disagree.
Most people want to be a senator. Come on.
Sure. Yeah, most people do. I can't deny that.
And they're probably more qualified.
What do you think? Give us a call. That number's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom, 855-450-3733, or use the Discord call-in lines, which you can find at discord.freetalklive.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-919-5435. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-919-5435. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-919-5435. 1-800-919-5435.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. 855-450-3733. Give us a call, tell us whatever's on your mind. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
Melanie.
And Mark.
And Mark, you look like you've got something you wish to share with us.
I want to tell you about LibertyStickers.com. LibertyStickers.com. Well, it's just go there and take a look at their bumper stickers. Really. I mean, you know, it's basically like scrolling through memes. And y'all do that on the internet all the time. I've really enjoyed going to LibertyStickers.com. They have you can reach thousands of people with a bumper sticker, and you know people love to read them. You can check out the vast selection of witty, poignant, pithy, and downright bombastic liberty-oriented messages at LibertyStickers.com.
I am amazed you read that without screwing it up. And that was a lot of.
There's a little bit.
There was a lot of adjectives in there, like right back to back. Impressive.
Yeah. Well, I wrote it too. So
awesome.
There's that. I love LibertyStickers.com.
Good stuff. I love Bitcoin. I love cryptocurrency in general. And I love the idea of financially weakening the state until it ultimately has to wither away because it has no way to fund itself in order to perpetuate its own existence.
Yep. The people that call themselves the government have done terrifying things to our monetary system that most people don't even understand.
And that's by design.
Yeah.
You know, they have these economists who get up there and just talk scientific woo, make it sound really impressive. Oh, the derivatives market increased and all this other stuff that is completely and totally irrelevant. You know, but it's how they convince people that, oh, we need to increase the minimum wage so that we cast this poverty net over an even larger portion of the people, and somehow by just making the numbers larger, we're going to make everybody wealthier.
And that's the idea.
It's absurd. That is not at all how it works, though.
Nope.
And, I got into
Mickey Mouth mathematics. If you think that you can raise the minimum wage and make everybody wealthier, you just don't understand economics.
No, you can't possibly. I got into a discussion recently with someone about immigration, and they contended that, I must not care about higher wages and things like that, because having more people here and having higher wages are mutually exclusive. So even if I accept that premise, though, that's assuming that I am simply using their money, simply using USD, right? Which is what they're going to inflate, and which is what's going to lose value when, these other people making their wages in this crappy currency and trading in this crappy currency are losing money. It's not going to affect me and my Bitcoin Cash and my Bitcoin and Dash and Monero, right?
Well,
in fact, my money
benefit you.
My money will become more valuable. My wages will increase.
Yep, agreed. I'll give you that.
So I don't see a problem with the two things happening correspondingly.
I can see, that increasing the amount of the population in a given geographic area will tend to drive down wage cost.
Absolutely.
But
by definition, almost. I mean, that's just going to be what happens.
But if you're competing against illiterate, homeless people for jobs, maybe you need to step up your game.
I would agree entirely with that statement. But of course, Bitcoin, which allows its users to move value around the world beyond the sight and reach of governments and law enforcement, is often criticized for its ability to help terrorists, criminals, and tax evaders.
Yeah, they love to say terrorists, criminals, and tax evaders.
Even though there is no research. In fact, they've done research that show the government has done research that says, oh yeah, terrorists, they don't actually. Turns out Lockheed Martin won't sell you, bombers for Bitcoin. They prefer cash.
Right. So first thing, we know that people who use cryptocurrency are far more philanthropic than they are criminal. So they're not, the whatever they're saying about terrorists and criminals and all that stuff, they're much more likely to just be giving crypto away to people to increase, prosperity on the planet. So that's not true. Also, drug dealers and terrorists, I wonder if they're more likely to have rooms full of $100 bills or phones full of Bitcoin.
Yeah, most drug dealers don't take crypto. Some do. But as a whole, that's not how that works.
Well, the safe black market drug dealers will take crypto. Not necessarily Bitcoin, but the black market sites have certainly moved toward Monero and things like that.
Crypto, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, they would also take cash if you actually knew them in person. And in most cases, they're probably flipping the cryptocurrency into cash because that's the reason they value it. They don't value it for philosophical reasons or anything like that. They just want to move money away from the eyes of the government, which I guess is a philosophical reason, come to think of it. But there are thousands.
Well, that's not a philosophical reason. That can just be a completely practical reason.
True. Well, I mean, it's philosophical in the sense that, they're selling drugs and they don't think the government should be able to tell them that they can't. So they're using a money that allows them to continue doing it. Even though the government has said, no, we don't approve of you selling these drugs in a safe, controlled way. These people have to get it off the streets where their heroin might be laced with fentanyl.
I still don't think that's philosophical. I don't think that they all necessarily go that far as to think that they should be able to do that. It might just be, in a lot of cases, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not even questioning if I should or not.
Interesting. But whether it is to disempower our foreign policy, our tax collection enforcement, or traditional law enforcement, the advantage of crypto over sovereign currency is solely to aid in the disempowerment of the United States and the rule of law, Sherman added.
Yeah, the United States is the world's rule of law.
They like to think they are.
Yeah, they want to be the world's ruler. And the funny thing is that, all these people that are scared to death of the United States being run by the UN, the United States is the UN. Not the United Nations, but they function as the world's government. And there are a few nations that don't want their thumb on them, and they pay for it. Or maybe it's just that any good guy needs a bad guy. Otherwise, he's just a guy. And I don't know which it is. I want
to be the guy.
Yeah, well,
nobody's going to get that except me.
Yeah, okay. I don't understand it. What is it?
It's a video game. Extraordinarily difficult video game.
Well, what is it?
It's I Want to Be the Guy.
I Want to Be the Guy is the name of the video game.
Yes.
All right.
So Sherman has previously called Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies a crock and added that the United States...
they were a crock. Now they're going to destroy the world's economy.
Yeah, those are kind of mutually
Excellent
exclusive.
point.
I mean, how weak is the Federal Reserve that it's going to be taken down by a crock?
Yeah. Those are excellent points. Not sure what else to do about them except sit here and go, yep, that is correct.
That's it, yeah.
He added that the United States should prevent people from buying or mining cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, good luck with that. That's kind of the crypto part of cryptocurrency.
That would be an impressive feat if they could somehow prevent people from mining cryptocurrencies. Do they have a nationwide electromagnetic pulse they could send out? Because I'm not sure how else you could even achieve such a thing.
Well, and that even wouldn't help because there's miners who aren't physically located in the U.S.
Well, they don't want to keep other countries. Well, they do.
Most of the miners of most major coins are not in the U.S.
Right.
Because
but
the United States has
I'm mining Ravencoin right now.
There's too many regulations on the electricity for miners to really be able to survive here on major coins.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. But I mean,
you make any money mining Ravencoin? I've mined some currencies and not really done anything.
No, it's just more my computer is sitting there not doing anything other than showing me movies on VLC player, so I might as well have it doing some work. Maybe Ravencoin will shoot up to $50 per. It's almost certainly not going to, but hey, if it does,
then you're rich.
Yeah, it will certainly have paid for itself by then.
I've ran more useless things in the background of a computer.
Right. So following Sherman's attack on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin advocate and founder Morgan... Hold on, he's not a founder. Okay, they need to learn how to use commas. Founder of Morgan Creek Digital Assets hit back, saying any such laws would be nearly impossible to enforce. Although Sherman is right to be worried, and trying to ban Bitcoin will drive more adoption. I agree.
So he agrees that this is an advertisement for us, but they're going to go ahead and announce it anyway.
Well, this is a different guy saying that. He's a Bitcoin advocate, and he founded some digital asset company. Who knows what they do. But he's right. Bitcoin is a threat to U.S. financial hegemony and control over the world by having its currency as the reserve currency of everyone else.
And that's pretty much a good thing.
Yes, that's why I love cryptocurrency. I don't want Bitcoin to be the one to supplant it because Bitcoin is largely useless as a currency.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't. For me, the term Bitcoin is larger than the one cryptocurrency called BTC. I find Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, these two things to certainly be Bitcoin. Then arguably, many of the others, that are underneath it. They're cryptocurrencies, and maybe I just use it as, catch-all. Anyway.
Excellent point. This has been Free Talk Live, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back this same time tomorrow night, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Free Talk Live.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons